I'm gonna teach. Today I'm gonna. Today we're. Today I'm. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna teach you how to solve the Rubik's Cube. Let's start. But first, I'm gonna teach you something that will make it easier to solve the cube. It's called notation. It looks like this. So I'm gonna teach you how to read notation. Well, okay. So I'm gonna teach you how to read this letter. It's R. So R means right side. So we want to imagine it like a clock. So we're going to tilt the cube until we see a little bit of the right side. So imagine that there's a clock on the right side right here. So if you see R, that means you want to turn it clockwise, like that. But if you see an R prime with a little dash at the top, that means you turn it counterclockwise, like that. So R prime. So now you learned the right side, but now I'm going to teach you the rest of the letters. Alright, the next one is L. So L means for the left. So you want to look at the left a little bit, or turn your cube to the left just a tiny bit, so you can see the left side. So we want to do the same thing as we did on the right side. We want to imagine a clock right here. And now if you see L, that means you turn it clockwise, so like that. But if you see L prime with the dash, then you turn it counterclockwise, like that. L prime. Now we're going to do U. Now U means up, so we want to look at the up a little bit, so that way we see the upside. So if you see U, that means you turn it clockwise. And again, imagine that there's a clock, and then we want to turn it clockwise. Then U prime, counterclockwise. And now if you see F, that means front. So if you see F, then you move it clockwise. Then if you see F prime, counterclockwise. And then D means for down. So we look at the bottom a tiny bit. So see D, then clockwise, D prime, clockwise. Or sorry, D prime, counterclockwise, D clockwise. And there you go. That's how you read notation. So now this will make it much easier to solve the cube. So this step you want to make a white cross, but you want the colors on the sides to line up. Oh, I also forgot to mention, these are the edge pieces, these are the corner pieces, these are the edges, and then this is the center. We don't like turn this. This is just like a guide. So you want the edges to match the color of their center on all the sides. Okay, so we want to look for the white center, which is right here. And now we want to find an edge piece that has white on it. So, like this one. So, you see, this is white and orange. So now I want to look for the white and orange centers. White and orange. So that means this piece goes right here. So, if it's like right here, then we could just move it to the top, and then we could move it so that way it lines up. So I want to do that on all the sides. So let's look for another one, like this one. This one is blue. So let's look for another one, like this one. This one is blue. So it's on the very bottom, so we could just move it on the bottom like that, then turn it up. And now you can see that we have both of the Now I have the colors of the edges matched with their centers. So let's look for another one, like this one. This one is white and red, and it's actually already like complete. So we could just move it to the top like that. Let's look for another one. This is the last one. So you could just do the same thing with the blue. We could just move it on the bottom and then move it to the top. And there we go. Now I have our white cross. But I want to show you something that might be a bit tricky that could happen. So you see here, we have a white edge piece, and then it's red. So there's the red center. Now we can move it. But wait. Look, you see, this piece is correct, but the colors are swapped. So we want to unswap them. So what we want to do is this algorithm. F U prime R U, and there you go. Now it's unflipped. Alright, the next step, solving the bottom layer or the bottom corners. So this is what we want it to look like. So you see the whole white side is done, but you see the whole bottom row is done. So we kind of want to make these upside down T shapes, but we just want to make them look like this. So we want to look for some corner pieces that have white on them, like this one. So you see this is blue, red, and white. So we have the white down here, so we just want to concentrate on the two colors that aren't white. So blue and red. Let's look for the blue and red centers. So here they are, blue and red, and our piece is right here. So now we want this corner piece to go above the blue and red centers. So we want them to go right here. So we could just move it from the top like that. And now I want to teach you this algorithm, which looks like this. So we want to follow what it says. So it says R first, R. Now it says U, U. Then R prime, so that's counterclockwise. R prime, then U prime at the end. U prime. And look at that we inserted it. So now you see we have one corner, or like half of the upside down T. So we just want to do the same thing that we did with this one. So let's look at the top, and we can use this one or this one. I'm going to choose this one. So it's actually already on top of the red and green centers, so we could just do the algorithm. R, U, R prime, U prime. And also, if I'm going too fast, you could always pause the video. So you see we did it, but the white is not on the bottom. So you just want to do it again. R, U, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. And the white is still not on the bottom, so we do it again. R, U, R prime, U prime. Still not on the bottom. R, U, R prime, U prime. And there you go, now it's on the bottom. So let's look again. There's this one. This one is blue and orange. Blue and orange. So we move it so that way it's on top of the blue and orange. And now we do the algorithm. R, U, R prime, U prime. The white is not on the bottom, so we do it again. R, U, R prime, U prime. Not on the bottom. R, U, R prime, U prime. Still not on the bottom. R, U, R prime, U prime. It's not on the bottom. R, U, R prime, U prime. And it's on the bottom. Also, I want to teach you finger tricks, which would help you solve the cube a lot faster. So we want to do this. When we're doing the RU, R prime, U prime, I want to do this. Move it up, that's R. And then with your first finger, you push like that. So you do U with your first finger, like this. And then R prime, then with this finger, U prime, like that. It's nice, see, that's a lot faster than just rotating with your wrists. Look, here's a side-by-side comparison. So as you could see, finger tricks are a lot faster. So there's only one more left, and it's right here. So there's orange and green, and then there's orange and green. So I just move it so that way it's on top of the green and orange centers, and then we just do RU, R prime, U prime. I'm gonna speed it up because it might take a while. R, U, R prime, U prime. There we go, now it's inserted. But this case might happen. So as you can see, I'm looking on the top, and there is no white on the top. You might have noticed that's actually on the bottom. So you see, this is on the bottom, and I want it to be on the top, so that way it could be moved to here. So we want to do the same thing as if we were inserting a piece. We want to do RU, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. There we go, now it's on the top. So then we could just do that. Now it's right here. I can move this piece. Then this piece is correct, but it's flipped, so we just do the same thing. And there we go. Next step, solving the middle layer. So this is about halfway done to solving the cube. So we've done 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about halfway. And be prepared because this is the hardest step. Be prepared. Okay, no, it doesn't have to be that intense. So we first want to look for an edge piece that's on the top but does not have yellow on it. So we can't use this piece because it has yellow. So this has yellow. This does not have yellow. So you want to look at the front and see what color it is. So see, this is orange. So we want to look for the orange center. Here it is. So now we can just move it so that way the front piece matches with the center. So now the orange piece on the front matches with the orange center. So now we want to see where we're inserting this piece. So we want to look on the top, and you see this is green. So let's look for the green center. So this is blue, this is green. So we want to insert this piece into here, but not right here. We want to put it right here. So first we want to actually move it away from where we're inserting, and then we want to do basically a new algorithm. It's just the left version of RU, R prime, U prime. This is what it looks like. L prime, U prime, L, U. So we want to remember where we were inserting it. So we were inserting it into here. So we want to move to the left since we were inserting it to here. So I want to turn it to the left. And now I want to do the right version. R, U, R prime, U prime. And now look at that. Our edge piece is inserted. This is what it would look like if it was not inserted correctly. Now let's look for another edge piece. This is yellow. This is yellow. This is not yellow. So let's look on the front. This is green. here's green. So we could just move it. So now let's look at the top color. This is red, and here's red. And this piece is already inserted, so we already know that it goes here. So we want to do the same steps that we did earlier. So we're inserting it into here. So we want to move it away from where we're inserting, like that. And now, again, if we're inserting this piece to the left side, then we do the left algorithm. L prime, U prime, L, U. So then we want to remember we're inserting it into here. So now we turn to the left if we're inserting it in the left, like that. And now we want to do the right algorithm. So inserting this piece back. R, U, R prime, U prime. And now we have our edge piece. So now let's look for another one, like this one. This is orange and blue. So we want to look at the front. It's orange. So let's move it right here. And now let's look on the top. This is blue. There's the blue center. So we want to insert this piece into here. So we want to do the steps again. First, we move it away from where we're inserting. Now we're inserting this piece into here. So we want to do the right algorithm. R, U, R prime, U prime. And now we're inserting the piece into here. So now after you do R, U, R prime, U prime, remember we're inserting the piece into here. So we want to turn to the right. And now we want to do the left algorithm. L prime, U prime, L, U. Now you see we have our piece. So now let's look for another one like this. Now we're inserting it into here, so I'll speed this up since we've already done it. And just like that, now we have our whole layer. But there's also a case that might look like this. So you see I'm looking at the top, and I see that there's just yellow pieces. And if that happens, that means that probably that there's edges that are inserted, but it's in the wrong place. So this is green and red, and this is orange. So we want to put this piece to here, and this piece to here. So we want to do the same thing as if we were inserting a piece. So we want to do R, U, R prime, U prime, then turn to the right since we're taking this piece out. Then L prime, U prime, L, U. Now you see this piece is out. So now you can just move on as usual. Next step, solving the yellow cross or the top cross. So there's a lot of different cases that you could get on the top cross step. You could get a horizontal line. You could get an already solved cross, so you actually skip this step. You could get an L shape, or you can get just a dot. So I'll teach you how to solve all of them. So to solve the dot, you want to do this. It's this algorithm. So we read along. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And now we have our like upside down L. So you want to hold it so that way it's right here. So I do this. F, R, U, R prime, U prime. Then you get the horizontal line. And then you just do the same thing. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, then F prime. Now you have your cross. So those are all the cases that you could get. Alright, next step is solving the top edges. So we have like our cross, but you see like, this is what we want on all the sides. But you see, this blue doesn't match with the red center. So we want, like, green to go with green, orange to go with orange, blue to go to blue, and red to go with red. So there's a lot of cases that you can get, so I'll show you all the cases. You could get just one correct, and all the other ones aren't correct. You could get two that are like right next to each other, like this. You could get all of them correct, and you skip 2 steps, and that's super lucky. Or you could get this case where you see we have 1 correct and 2 correct. That's from the opposite, but these 2 are not correct. So I'm going to teach you how to solve this one. So what we want to do is this algorithm. It looks like that. So we do R, U, R prime, U. We're putting this pair all the way in the back. Then R and U2, so that means like you move it twice. So U2, so that's the top, so U2, then R prime, and then you gotta move the top. So if you have 1 correct, you just want to keep turning it until you get 2 that look like this. So we want to face it, so that way we could swap these 2. We want 1 to look to the right and 1 to look to the top. Set it up like that, then we just do the same algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. That's what it looks like super fast, so you probably might want to slow that down a bit. So that we just move the top, and you can see that now they're all finished. Next step, solving the top corners. So now we don't have to make them all look like this. So you see this is orange, blue, and yellow. So we want to be in between the orange, blue, and yellow centers. So there's actually none that are correct. So I'm going to teach you this algorithm. So if you get none correct, then you want to do this algorithm. R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L, U. And let's look for one. And you see this one's correct because you see it's red and blue, and it's in between the red and blue center. So you see, like, this is not correct because you see this is orange and blue, orange and green. So this piece is not correct. So you see, we want it to look like this. So if you have just 1 correct, then you want to face it so that way the correct corner is on the top left. So you see it's up here. So now you just do that algorithm. R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L, oh, and U. So now you see we have this one correct, this one correct, this one correct, and this one correct. So now we're going to move on to the last step. Next step, solving the whole cube. Yeah. So we want to turn the cube upside down so the white center is on the top. And now we want this piece to look like this. But right now it looks like that. So we want to do RU, R prime, U prime a bunch of times until this goes to the very bottom. So here you go. R, U, R prime, U prime. Still not on the bottom. R, U, R prime, U prime. Still not on the bottom. R, U, R prime, U prime. Still not on the bottom. R, U, R prime, U prime. and it's on the bottom. So now you also want to remember to do U prime, because a lot of people forget to do U prime on this step. And now this part you want to be super careful, because once you've done R prime U prime, then you want to move to the next one, but do not do this. Because as you can see, now it's not solved. So what you want to do is this. So you do that, but then you move the bottom like this. Then you do it, and then, and look at that, you solved your first cube. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something. So I just made a Rubik's Cube video this week. So next week I'm gonna do a domino video, then Rubik's Cube, then domino, Rubik's domino, Rubik's domino. So I'll go back and forth from Rubik's Cube videos to domino videos. Oh. See you. Bye.